My companion has told me all that transpired in the cavern. Not even I knew of the shrine the angry Earth harbored there. That they have succeeded in corrupting it is troubling beyond measure. I did. I'd prefer to believe this an anomaly, but precautions must be taken. I must visit the Mother Well and commune with the primal spirits there. Return to your instructor. Convey to him that our gift, and the reprieve that comes with it, is not without condition. Should your kind abuse it, we will visit our wrath upon you. It grants what your kind lacks, a connection to the Earth itself.
Wait, you're saying that Tekla did what to the mines? Oh my. I have a terrible feeling this is about Audrey. Audrey Kelleher of Kelleher Farmstead. She and Tekla were close. Closer than close, really. They were together until Audrey was killed by Corrupted and just never came back. Poor Tekla still visits the farmstead, haunting it like a ghost.
relief to see you return. Though my heart trembles to harbor hope again, it's too late to turn back. You were able to get a living seed of the Angry Earth, then. I'm not surprised. The Angry Earth are not our allies by any stretch of the imagination, but you seem to have quite a knack for persuasion.
We have but one component of our conduit. Vital though it may be, we must now craft the staff that will contain it. Through it, you will draw on the power of your own soul to destroy corruption where it stands. Yes, the relationship between Azoth and the soul is complex, but it is this dynamic that gives a soul warden their strength. When focused through an Azoth staff, it can perform many wonders. We will start with the haft. The trees from which they were once carved no longer grow on Eternum. The only way is to find one of the hafts we hid away as the days darkened. The ancient ruins of Canis contain such a cache. I fear that is a question none remain to answer. The ancients disappeared thousands of years ago. We simply used the ruins to find sanctuary from the corrupted. In some cases, it worked. Let us hope Canis is one of them.
Well now, it's been an age since I laid eyes on one of these. It brings back many memories. Not all of them painful either.
For the next component of the Azoth staff, you must acquire one of our consecrated crosspieces. It will be tricky, however, as there are certainly none of these just lying about in an old chest. Yes, you may need to be resourceful. To the west, you will find the ancient structure that houses the forge. It was used by the Soul Warden Order even before my time. So, you may still find materials scattered throughout. Mind you, tread lightly, young one. Such places belong to the past. And the past has a habit of fighting back on this island. I see you managed it after all. A fine crosspiece. Almost as fine as Forge Master Ezra once made. Did you have any trouble? Ezra? It stands to reason that he would remain at his forge even after the light left him. He never did let it go cold. I am sure he would be pleased with your work. I fear there is little time to prepare you for what approaches. While you were away, I met a traveler who spoke of corrupted coming down from the north. I suspect they are driven on by the same vice that plagues your mind. I do not know. The traveler said the corrupted rally around something called the Tempest, a being they worship like a god. If this is the same being that haunts you, I fear your soul may be in great peril. No. Other than maybe to give us a greater sense of urgency. But this is a momentous occasion. You are ready to forge your Azoth staff, and the Soul Wardens will soon be born anew. I cannot go. You must do this alone. It will require the sacrifice of part of your soul. Place the pieces of the staff on the ancient altar near the shattered obelisk. Then brace yourself. I will be with you in spirit.
Wood and metal can be broken, but an ideal endures. And even in small defeats, I step closer to my victory.
Welcome back. And look at you, still as fresh as a newborn babe. Most aspiring soul wardens return looking at least a little pale. You must have extra soul to spare.
I have had time to give our predicament some thought. While we now possess an Izoth staff, it is but a beginning, and even armed with such an implement, we too are no bulwark against corruption. I think so. Go back to Oxborough. Shout from the rooftops. Bang pots and pans if you must. Rally their men and women at arms to meet the armies coming their way. You hold their only hope for salvation. I must make preparations. The hardest part of becoming a soul warden is still ahead, my young friend. Rally the city against the corrupted in the north, and then meet me in the southern ruins. Then you can become a true soul warden. If you still wish it.
At last! Someone in this foppish little city I can have a decent conversation with. Come on over. Gab a minute with your friend Grace. I've been poking around town, collecting gossip from all these fine lords and ladies. I might stay a while. There's a lot of coin changing hands around here, let me tell you. This town is much older than it looks. Believe it or not, it was the bleeding Roman legions that first made it into a proper village. But it soon became a trading hub for all sorts. The crossroads of Eternum. And so it was. People coming from all over to buy and sell, and the gold in the town's coffers piled up. The trade barons ran the place for profit. No kings, no queens, and no messing. Each of the town's factions had its own enforcers, and for a while that seemed to work. But it was only a matter of time until vice and greed turned to violence. Fighting broke out in the streets, and the whole town burned down. But coin has a way of fixing things fast. Out of the ashes, the town of Oxborough came to life. The trade barons built it back, bigger, stronger, and more profitable than ever. And word is it's been smooth sailing ever since. Even when the corruption spread across the land centuries ago, Oxborough was still sitting pretty. These days, coins flowing like never before, but the trade barons hoard their wealth from the shadows. It may be tricky, but there's a fortune to be made here, and Grace O'Malley won't be leaving until she gets her share.
So now you know what I've been up to. What about you? I see that fancy new staff you're toting around. What do you plan to do with that? I thought enough red-eyed rotters on the beach. If you get in a jam, I've got your back. But I'm not enlisting in that crusade. These fine folks seem to think they haven't a problem in the world beyond a shortage of herbs. You might try the constable. That's the one. She's a former Roman legionnaire. And you didn't hear it from me, but I hear her husband's gone missing. She might listen.
Ah, I see you have my flute. Do you mean to awe me with a song? I will always make time for pleasant music. Oh, it gives me great joy. Do proceed. Oh, my. To whom do I owe this wondrous experience? I will remember that name. Do convey my appreciation for this work should you meet again. You simply must share this with Captain Dubois. You will find him near the Governor's Hall. Oh, and keep the flute. My treat.
I overheard a melody floating on the wind. I confess I am not much for the arts myself. My hands can do little more than bear a weapon. But I can appreciate mastery when I hear it. Will you play it again for me? Oh, it is even more stirring with you before me. Where did you come by this song? Oh, did you compose it? Oh, they must be prolific indeed, if their work can stand out so in a city like ours. Ah, Constable Misha will want to hear this. She takes delight in introducing rising talent to the gentry. Many consider it a favor.
Hello, my busy friend. The signs are good today. I feel quite certain today's the day Centurion Mesha will finally return home. Corrupted? That's preposterous. He's battled the demon hordes more times across the centuries than I can count. Besides, I would have seen the signs. I've heard the reports, of course. Corrupted in some isolated spots in North Everfall. But they're not massing for an attack. All the signs are good. Now you sound like my husband, always skeptical. He'll return soon. For now, try Captain Dubois. Perhaps he can spare some soldiers for you. Was that the lilting of a flute I heard? Yes, I do have a sharp ear. If your work is of such quality, I know several individuals who would be delighted to learn your name. Play for me? Yes, yes, this is exactly what this town needs. I shall ensure your name is spoken far and wide. When you earn yourself a patron, do remember who helped you grow your career. Ah, a bard then. How kind of you to bring this melody to us. I shall ensure that Marcius receives proper recognition. Do be sure to inform them of my generosity. Now, you must play for the masses. To the tavern with you.
A fine day to you, traveler. I trust your meeting with the constable was mutually beneficial? Was there anything I can offer you to support your interests? Oh, well, I've heard the reports, and I salute your courage in battling the Crimson Menace. That staff appears to be a formidable weapon. Unfortunately, I cannot send soldiers to join you on your mission. Every available guardsman is deployed now in an effort to combat the current crisis. Why, you haven't heard? Impossible! There's a devastating shortage of herbs. Many of our wealthier citizens depend on such herbs for happiness and health. The herbalist who normally caters to our city is named Ao, but he hasn't made an appearance in months. We've sent search parties. For Oxborough, it is a crisis of the highest order. So by all means, your campaign gets my full moral support. But do look out for How. Good luck!
A bard! Good. I could use someone to liven up the place a bit. Take your place by the fire, love. Oh, A shame the usual crowd wasn't here to enjoy that. But I'll be singing your praises. I hope you can come back and play another night. Is that their name? I'll be sure to ask other bards if they know any of Marcius's songs. I appreciate you breaking up the quiet with that bit of joy.
How did it go? Did they like it? Did their eyes shine? Perhaps shed a tear? I wish I could have seen their reactions for myself, but there are more important things. Did it make an impact? Is there now a reputation I must uphold? Whew, what a relief. Even though I find great joy in composing, there is always a moment where I fear I am simply a butler and nothing more. I will approach Mistress Sockham now, I think. Maybe she will offer to sponsor my music. This is terrible, my friend. I heard that my mistress was interested in backing my pen name and revealed to her that it was me. I had expected... At any rate, my pay has been docked, and I am not to speak of it again. Find a patron without her, obviously. She does not own me. I did some sleuthing and discovered that the Oaf family recently lost a musician in their employ. If we tread carefully, I can present myself to the Patriarch. One never approaches a noble personage without an introduction. There are only a handful of people who can arrange one. We need to find out who they are. Start with their maid, Sarah. She always has her ear to the ground.
You got that look on your face. You know the one. Preparing to ask for something that's above your station, Well, Lord Shen is particular about his company. You might be a bit too dusty to garner the right kind of attention. Luckily, Atticus is not. Don't act surprised. I know what you're after. I can help you both for a price. In fact, I have a list. you have the items I requested? Hand them over and I'll evaluate how you've done. And I trust the parcel was delivered to the correct address. Good. The courier will seek out Atticus with an invitation. He is not to be late, he must be well dressed and carry himself as a musician, not a butler. Understood.
I detect triumph in your demeanor. I do not know what you had to do to secure this opportunity for me, but I suspect victory is close at hand. And now, we wait. Look at this. The embossed wax seal, the heft of the paper. Even the ink is gilt in gold. Every detail screams affluence, and yet it is hardly overt. This letter summons me to Lord Shen's side. Thank you. My heart is all aflutter. Perhaps you could act as my associate and accompany me. I know this may be beneath you, but think of how it will reflect on the reputation we worked so hard to build.
Marcius, or should I say Atticus, has told me a great deal about you. It seems I have you to thank for this auspicious meeting. I have decided to grant Atticus my esteemed patronage, but it comes with a condition. I cannot employ one who has already sworn to another. I must come to an acceptable arrangement with Lady Sako. It would wound her pride to surrender him to me. But I suppose that is the point. Ask her to name her price.
I knew it! It was you who spread those ridiculous rumors! You filled my darling Atticus's head with flights of fancy, and now look, he seeks to exit my employ! He would. He knows what it would mean for him to woo my manservant. How it would stain the family name. He does it for his own pride, not for Atticus's sake. No, I will accept no offer.
Well, what is her price? I have deep pockets after all, but I am sure she will not part with him easily. How amusing. She thinks herself above temptation. Well, I can see that corrected. I prepared an initial offer. Deliver it to her if you would, and do not open it, or I shall have your head.
Are you intentionally trying to waste my time? I told you I will not part with my dear Atticus. Nothing from Lord Shen could possibly change my mind. Let me see it. Oh my. How grand. How generous. Perhaps he is not the fiend I thought. Oh, he has such lovely taste in parchment. What a lovely texture. With great regret and sorrow, I do accept his offer.
You return. Well, shall I deliver the good news to Atticus? Impertinent. But I am in a pleasant mood. I will divulge. I gave her a handsome estate in Windsward, and her pick of personal attendants. A balm to her wounded pride. And I can dismiss one of my more irksome charges.
Do you see this? Or are you just going to walk on by like everyone else? Huh, these roads are supposed to be safe. What dark times these must be for people to just turn away from a poor innocent merchant who's been waylaid by rabid wolves. Oh no, the wolves were vicious and slobbery, but they didn't get any of the good stuff. I just need someone to help ride my cart. Do I look like a lumberjack? Or some muscle-bound warrior who can lift a heavy weight with their pinky finger? I need help here. Finally, someone with a heart. Help me out here and I'll see you richly rewarded in Oxborough. I've got friends there in high places, I do.
These foul corrupted will suffer as I have. I'm sure they can still feel pain. I'm sure they can howl with anguish. So, Lee told you about Audrey. Yes, this is for her. She was killed in her own home and never came back. I don't know why this happened. Only that it forever changed the trajectory of my life. I searched for weeks. But she never returned to me, and no one could find any trace of her. Defeating the corrupted that did this to her won't bring her back, but I don't care. I want those monsters to feel even a sliver of my pain.